Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and I'd just like to tell everybody that today I will be drawing for a winner to win a free reading, so you still have some time to get your email address in there. Anybody who's already signed up at my site and is on the mailing list is included in this already, so you don't need to duplicate. But if you are new to this and would like to win a reading with me, I will be drawing later this evening. Every full moon, I will be doing this for the extended future. And let's take a look at what is going on today with the full moon in Scorpio at 5:42 in the evening. And it will be at 20 degrees, 24 minutes of Scorpio. I couldn't get this to the exact minute up here, the exact time. But we do have it here at 20 degrees, the moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio, over here at Planet Watcher, where we can see what's going on in the heavens at this time. Now, some people may be aware that the planet Mercury is no longer retrograde. In fact, Mercury went direct, as we can see here, almost 7 days ago. However, some people are feeling as though Mercury is still retrograde. That has a lot to do with the fact that transiting Mercury is making a conjunction to Uranus, and they are both in Aries, which is a fiery sign and very impatient and wants what it wants, and it wants it now. So there can be greater restlessness, impatience, irritability, and erratic behavior from people in general. You may be feeling it in your own life. You may be thinking that other people are a little bit crazy or reacting in extreme ways to things, and you can blame it on this conjunction that's going on. I am looking forward to the planet Mercury moving into the sign of Taurus, where it will stabilize and become a bit kinder and gentler and slower to respond and react in about 6 days. So once it gets there, it's going to be moving far enough away from the planet Uranus, which is an unstable and unsettling energy and brings change and unexpected things. Once it moves into Taurus, into that steady earth sign, things will calm down. And then as we get about 10 days in, we're going to be far enough away from this conjunction that we won't be experiencing it anymore. So that is something to look forward to, as things may be calming down by the time we get to the end of May. I don't want to go too far ahead and talk about things that will be happening at the end of May, since we're here now and we're feeling the intensity of a Scorpio full moon. And Scorpio is the fixed water sign that rules the 8th house within a chart. And its planetary ruler is the planet Pluto. And we see that the one aspect that is being formed with the moon, besides the opposition to the sun in Taurus, is this sextile to its ruling planet, to Pluto in Capricorn. And this is what's considered a minor aspect. It's not a major aspect. It is benign or pleasant in nature. So the moon is getting some backup here by associating energetically with Pluto. And Pluto in turn forms a trine to the sun, and the sun, of course, is in tension here with the moon. So determination, finding what is hidden underneath and coming to something determined, since Pluto is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign, very boss-like. Coming to some executive decisions, deciding what needs to be done, sticking to something that you have decided, following through on something. If there's anything that you've kept submerged within yourself, now is possibly a critical time period to allow it to come up and decide what stays and what is eliminated, what can be put to use and what no longer serves, and what should be put to rest. So that would be the dominant energy with this full moon. And the 8th house rules things like sex, death, taxes, metaphysics, the occult, business partnerships, investment, inheritance, wills and insurances. Basically, it's a money house, and it's a house where we share our assets and we merge with others on the spiritual or psychic level, even on the physical level. There is a merging between us and other individuals, or between us and people who have passed on through that gate of death. So if you are thinking of those who have passed and you would like to connect, tonight at the full moon may be a very good time for you to think of those who you love who have passed on, and express your feelings and thoughts and communicate with them. And if you are dealing with issues that have to do with shared assets or shared resources or investments or things that you need to take care of in terms of insurances, wills, long-term investments, this full moon may bring those things to your attention and show you where you might need to perhaps become more determined, more secure, more stable, particularly since the sun is in Taurus. Taurus has a strong association with the material world, particularly Taurus is the sign that says I have, and it rules the second house of personal finances, your self-worth, and your self-esteem. So what may be going on with the full moon could be financial for some people, but it may also have to do with how you are valued in relationship or how you value somebody else. How deep do you go in relationship? Are your needs being met? Are you honoring somebody else's needs? What is going on there on a deeper level in terms of relating? And for some people, it may be about making or breaking a commitment as well, especially if somebody is not really there with us anymore, or if they don't hold the same values that we hold. So let's take a look at the Sabian symbols for this full moon. Now, it's at 20 degrees, 24 minutes. I like to look at both. Some people round up. They round up to the next highest degree if it's not exactly at 20 degrees, but we'll look at both. So Scorpio, 20 degrees, a woman draws away two dark curtains, closing the entrance to a sacred pathway. The revelation to the human consciousness of what lies beyond dualistic knowledge. It reminds me of that Rumi quote about something about a field and going and meeting the other person out in the field, that there's a place where there is no you and me, there's no duality, there's just unity within that place. The woman within, the faith that is rooted in the deepest intuitions of the soul, is seen here as the Hierophant unveiling the realities which the either-or, pro and con mind of man alone cannot perceive. The path to the mystic's unitive life is opened up once the darkness of fear, egocentricity, and dualistic morality is removed. So this calls upon us to be courageous, to rely upon faith and intuition to bring it about, and to go through the veiling darkness. And of course, Scorpio being the gatekeeper there into the underworld, into death and into the darkness and what lies beneath. Revealing what lies beneath may be a theme for this full moon. So, the courage to venture beyond the familiar and the traditionally known, to plunge ahead into the unknown. And here, when we round it up to 21 degrees, we're at the second level, which goes to the emotional and cultural, speaks to the emotional and cultural. Obeying his conscience, a soldier resists orders, a readiness to face the results of a refusal to follow the authoritarian patterns of an aggressive society. Well, that's pretty deep, and that's pretty, I think, relevant to what is going on in our politics. I promised myself I'm not going to talk about politics, but Anyway, I'll just read through it. As a person finds himself involved in activities which are traditional in his particular culture, and in many instances in all societies at this stage of human evolution, he often faces a conflict between his own individual sense of value, his conscience, and the demands of society. The conflict may be most typical in terms of the armed services, thus this symbol. In it we find the individual asserting his own values, though he cannot escape the consequences of his decision. In such a case, he has to be quietly ready to face these consequences, whatever the cost. The issue it presents is clear. Society in this situation seems to be all-powerful, yet the individual need not be spiritually bound. Even if imprisoned, he still can display inner freedom and prove himself an individual. So, that is the Sabian symbol, or the Sabian symbols that we are looking at today. And everybody keep your chin up. The full moon doesn't last forever. In the next day or two, let's take a look at the moon. It will be changing signs on Thursday evening as it moves out of the last degree of Scorpio into Sagittarius. And then Friday, we're looking at the enthusiasm of a weekend ahead, where we begin on a high note with the moon in Sagittarius on Friday, making a trine to Venus that day. So make your plans for a fun evening on Friday, and releasing of tension, enjoying some pleasure, and getting back up and over the depths of the Scorpio full moon. Things will look a whole lot better when we head into Friday. And if there are things that need to come up and be dealt with, it may be best if you think on it and go within at the full moon, and then allow it to process within you on Thursday. Then come Friday, if you need to bring something out in the open or engage with other people and talk about things, you may find that people are more receptive, friendly, open, and kind if you're approaching them on Friday with your full moon issues that came up, rather than coming at them at the full moon. Of all signs, Scorpio can be one of the most defensive. So while we are all under this Scorpio full moon, there is a lot of defensiveness that is already in the atmosphere. People are on edge. People are touchy. People are afraid. They're scared, or they're afraid of pain or exposure. And that is something to consider if you have an issue with somebody. You might want to play out the scenes in your mind, or the things that you would like to say. Think about the situation, and then sleep on it and see how you feel when you wake up on Friday morning. See what the moon has brought for you, and you may be better prepared to be the bearer of news or have that talk come Friday, when the moon is in a much more open-minded, friendly, and approachable energy. So have a good weekend, everybody, and enjoy this full moon. And remember, you can come over here, and when the pop-up pops up, sign up, and I will enter you into the drawing tonight to win a free reading with me. All right, have a great day.